Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order aimed at removing some of the legal protections given to social media platforms. He said the firms had unchecked power to censor and edit the views of users. President Trump has regularly accused platforms such as Twitter and Facebook of stifling conservative voices. The order, which is expected to face legal challenges, comes after Twitter decided to append fact-check labels to two of his tweets this week. Now, Twitter also today decisively hit a post by President Trump it said was glorifying violence. At what cost does this feud with President Trump come to Twitter, and should we be concerned here in Ghana? Adam Gliming is lead security and risk consultant with Global Secure Solutions Ghana Limited. He joins me for a discussion on this. So, Adam, is Twitter doing anything wrong by flagging posts it deems misleading or harmful to the public?
It depends on the degree. You have this thing called censorship, where Twitter potentially can infringe on the rights of an individual by not letting their posts or their voices be heard. And people liking social media platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, as you know, you can liken it to sort of like Times Square or public square or like park where people can express their voices and be heard. So Twitter, by using an algorithm that probably targets or has a bias on a certain social demographic, can, yes, potentially, cause, restrictions on people voicing out their opinions, which I don't think is the symbol of free speech in America.
But we are talking about President Donald Trump, right? Anyway, so what sort of limitations could this executive order issued by President Trump have on social media organizations if it pulls through?
So if this thing is able to go, right now they need to look at the laws, reassess certain protections that Twitter and the social media organizations have, and find a balance as to what extent can Twitter say that a post is inappropriate, or violent. I just think that this is, to be honest, it's a way forward for freedom of speech, because I know that people on Instagram, for example, who are skeptical about what's going on in the world, who have videos and information, are not really allowed to operate. Their videos keep getting flagged, or they just don't show in your post, and that is not really a freedom of speech. So
to the extent that it is harmful to the public, to the extent that information is misleading.
So you want to talk about fake news and violence and stuff like that. Twitter and social media organizations are protected already to be able to influence the kind of information that is coming out. But then how do you also deal with people who are, let's say, from a certain sect, let's say maybe Muslim, who has his own views and is being suppressed? I think that is the angle that Donald Trump is hitting in terms of in ordinance with the First Amendment, which is about free speech. So it's a fine balance between those two elements.
And it's just a U.S. thing. Should I be worried about how this plays out here in Ghana? Could there be ramifications for us here in Ghana as well?
Definitely. This is going to have a widespread impact on any user. America is the powerhouse of innovation for social media platforms, and they have millions or billions of users worldwide. So yes, it will be impacting to us as well. However, if you're someone who appreciates different views and opinions from a wide spectrum of, race, religion, background, personal beliefs and opinions, then I think it's a win for you, because now it means that information that usually you're looking for, which is censored or is not made available to you, by the time that the law or the executive order is in place, it means that you have a wide stream of or choice of information that you want to subscribe to in your feed.
Okay, let's come to what is perhaps of major concern for us here on the marketplace, whether this decisive action could affect the business of Twitter. Could it come at a cost to Twitter? Don't forget, Trump has a lot of following on social media, and his followers could be incited, and it's going to be not so good for Twitter, if you can imagine. Tell us what you think.
I don't see this really affecting the bottom line of Twitter in terms of its profits or, its share value and stuff like that, its brand reputation and image. I think this actually has a bigger impact on the people that use Twitter. For example, if, let's say, I was a Muslim with radical views, I should be able to express my views without infringing on anybody's freedom or within reasonable limits. If you're a Christian and your views were in conformance with what is the social norms and your posts were getting across to your subscribers, and you had a business on Twitter, it means that you make more money because your posts are reaching your audience and people may patronize your products or your services. But on the other hand, because maybe there's a bias based on my social demographic or my religious beliefs, it means that I will not be able to do as well using that as a business driver. So yes.
Just a quick one, and we have to be quick on this one. I may have to disagree with you on this one because we saw the last couple of days that Twitter shares fell in the midst of this ensuing feud between President Trump and Twitter. Investors were a bit skeptical. You don't think, especially when it affects the popularity of Twitter, you don't think that there could be some issues Twitter has to deal with there?
I don't think so. It's probably that kind of volatility in the market where the market always reacts to, information, especially from a president who's powerful like Donald Trump. But I don't think that in the long term it's actually going to affect anything. It's just going to be able to, it's just going to put some kind of measurable degree of transparency in terms of people expressing their views and having the freedom to say what they want,
right,
and what is on their mind. Yeah.
Adam Glyman, thank you so much for your thoughts and perspective on this matter. We appreciate that you could join us. Now, COVID-19 pandemic has boosted food delivery business, but if you've tried to cook for a huge number of people, you'd agree it is not an easy task. It's been 4 years since Amadomire Tamaklo started providing meals for hundreds of people, and now her food startup, Food 101, is looking to break new ground. Here's her story on today's episode of the Joy Business Vibe.
How many orders have come in so far?
Okay, so with Metsu, because most of them get their week.
This has become the life of Amadomire Tamaklo since she decided 4 years ago to quit working in a corporate institution as a marketer to following her passion for food.
I love food through and through. The eating, the cooking, presentation, everything about food. Yes, I love food.
It sounded as though she was kidding when she announced to her friends she was quitting to sell food. But her decision to do this was not just because of her passion for food.
My plan was to serve healthy food, not just food, because I'm very health conscious about keeping the body healthy. That's the only one we have. So I'm very mindful about what we consume. So I thought if I give people that healthy option, they would respond positively, and they have.
She had found a solution to a problem, the essence of entrepreneurship. But while she had found a solution to a problem, it looked so basic. Plus, Ama would add to the countless number of people who are in this business.
So the very first day, I remember it like yesterday, even though it's been like 4 years. The very first day, people didn't believe that I was quitting what I was doing to go and start food business. So I selected a couple of friends and I cooked for free. I did it for a week. So I just served them lunch. I told them we are having it for free. And not the same people. We sampled it across various offices, various people. So after a week, we told them that, well, if you like the food, now you can order from us.
With a staff of 2 plus a push on social media, soon Ama would get overwhelmed by the number of orders and hire more people.
I think right from the onset, our strategy caught on quite early. of serving affordable food. So you could get an average worker in an office buying from us on a daily basis. We do free delivery, so you don't have to pay for delivery. We realize on the market that people find it difficult eating from one restaurant or a catering business for the whole week because it's expensive. So they eat that by Mondays and only on Thursdays. So our strategy was to make it very affordable, healthy, affordable, free delivery. So that's what we started with. Yes, and then it caught on because people were comfortable with it. For that on a daily basis.
Food 101 offers a variety of meals, and the emphasis is on healthy eating. In an industry where there is so much competition, Amma knows consistency and quality are very important.
Food sells, yes, but it's not, you can decide that I'm cooking today, people will patronize it, but how about if it's not good? How about if it's not healthy? It won't sell the next day, it won't sell after a week, and you'll be out of business. So good food sells because people eat on a daily basis, but what are you feeding them? But like any other thing, if you have to do it well to be able to attract that profit. If you don't, it will not come.
Selling food is not just about cooking, it's also about managing the business, making strategic decisions to stay in business and be profitable. How do you deal with unstable prices of foodstuff? How do you innovate to stay ahead of the market? What do you do when clients delay payments? Those are just a few of the issues Amma has to deal with on a daily basis.
You have all these ideas, but you need money to implement them. And that has been one challenge. And then engaging people, getting the right people. Sometimes, from my experience as an entrepreneur, I realize that people are not really passionate about, some people are not passionate about what they are doing or what they want to do. They're interested in just maybe getting paid at the end of the month. So I've had my fair share of it. People come in and they don't deliver. So you have to keep changing. And then, so another challenge was with finding the right staff, the right people, the right attitude. And then you need to depend on people to deliver motorbikes. They either disappoint or they don't go as expected, and we've had our fair share of that too. We hope it gets better.
But it's been a good 4 years so far, and now Food 101 has to overcome the 5th year hurdle where they evolved from being a startup.
So in our 5th year, we are looking at expanding. In the past, we tried to branch into other areas like strictly doing pastries, strictly doing like shito and other things, moving a bit away from the regular serving of food. And I think we hadn't planned well. So we are using this whole year to plan properly and then launch the different aspects of Food 101, where you don't just have to call us and get food in the office. You can walk into a shop and pick your shito, pick your spring roll, samosa, pick other things from the shelf that you can go and prepare at home yourself. Yes.
And I should mention that Amma hosts workout sessions for corporate institutions she caters for. And just in case you're wondering why the name Food 101, well, Amma tells me she settled on that because food is a basic necessity of life. And that we know for a fact. And food does really matter, but how much has changed about the food delivery business during this time of the pandemic? And is it true that it is silver lining for operators of the business? Joining me via Zoom is Operations Manager of Pizzeria.com, Marjorie Parker Alote. It's great to have you on the show. So what's changed about your business since the outbreak of COVID-19? Is it true that operators of food delivery are experiencing increased patronage?
A very tremendous change in our business. We have a lot of orders coming in, people who were not patronizing the service previously are patronizing the service now. We've got multiple orders coming in at a time, and I think that for food delivery generally it has been a very good time for us.
Okay, and so if you could just give our viewers an idea, perhaps how many orders you were taking before the pandemic and what has changed now?
Okay, so let's say we're taking between 1,500 to 2,000 orders a day, but currently I can say it's heading towards about 5,000 a day. Delivery-wise, we had some customers opting for pickup, as in they order the food and then they go and pick it up. But during the COVID, we had most of these customers actually shifting for delivery. So out of, let's say, 5,000, you have about 4,500 of them being delivery.
So how are you adjusting to this demand? Were you prepared for this?
Yeah, so we estimated that there was going to be an increase, but obviously we weren't too sure. But we did put some things in place, except that for the floats that we had, the delivery services that we had actually partnered with, we had to get more on board as the orders kept coming in.
Okay, and talk about, okay, go on. You're going to say something?
Yes, so we've got more delivery partners we are working with aside our own fleet that we have. And I think that we are slowly helping the demand.
Okay, talk about adjustments. At the heart of this, I guess, is hygiene because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And so these may be some of the concerns that your customers may have. So how do you ensure that you are bringing them something that is hygienic, delivered in a manner that doesn't cause COVID-19 to spread?
Okay, so the guys that we work with, the third parties, for some of them, we have spoken to them on how to, for all the delivery guys that come in to pick up the food, they have sanitizers with them. Their jackets are consistently checked by the delivery partners to make sure that they are keeping themselves clean, they are keeping their boxes clean, they are keeping the bags that they actually use for delivery clean. And mostly before they get to the restaurant, they make sure they sanitize themselves and then make sure that whoever is actually giving the food to them is also sanitized before they actually pick up the food from the restaurant.
Are there any challenges?
Yeah, you know, sometimes because it's there's a lot of orders coming in. For some of them, it's a bit difficult to track. But I think that aside that, to the riders, you know, it's always a bit difficult keeping consistency with riders, especially. But we are doing our best. It's actually going well currently.
All right. Final question to you: how do you think the food delivery market will change even after the pandemic?
You see, in Ghana, previously, we didn't have a lot of people actually living in the online space. But I think that COVID actually brought out the fact that the online space is a space to explore. So we have a lot more people going online to buy their food, because now they can be anywhere. They just need an app. They just need a short code. They can just order and then have the food delivered to them. So I think it's come to stay. People have accepted that the online space is a necessary space, and I think that things will improve as we go on.
Thank you so much, Margarine, for speaking with us. You had Margarine Parker-Alute. She is operations manager for pizzeria.com, sharing her experiences as the food delivery market sees a boost during these times of the COVID-19 pandemic. And that's the Marketplace this afternoon. Thanks for watching. My name is Darryl Kwao. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Have a great weekend.